Somerset.
8:23. It's the winter solstice, December the 21st. Today is what's known as the winter solstice. So this is what occurs. We're at the minimum point for the northern hemisphere when the sun is lowest in the sky. Otherwise known as the shortest day of the year, or the longest night of the... I mean, it's the shortest day, isn't it? And I know it sounds ridiculous, but when I left the house today, I thought, it is dark. I mean, it's normally dark when I leave, but it was dark. Hundreds of people. They marked the event at Glastonbury Tor this morning for sunrise, which I think, what was it, about 8:15, something like that? So it's up now, whether you think it is or not. But what then happens is they meet at Stonehenge. It's sort of tonight going into tomorrow, so they do it later, which I have to admit I struggle to get my head around. But some have the sunrise this morning, some see it in with the sunset, and so they kind of mark that new day tomorrow, if that makes sense. Anyway, Reverend Sharon Eldergill is from St Andrew's Church in Burnham-on-Sea. They're actually holding a service to commemorate the solstice today. Morning to you, Sharon.
Good morning, Claire. Lovely to speak to you.
And you. Why is this a significant time?
Well, I think that the winter solstice, some people would say that it's one of the oldest seasonal festivals of all. And, you know, one of the Druid names for winter solstice, I love it, is Alban Arthon, which is actually Welsh, meaning something like light of winter. And it's marking that time when the sun, as you say, has sunk to its lowest. The days are at their shortest. And if we sort of think back years and years before we have our scientific knowledge and all this sort of stuff, how scary must that have been?
Yeah.
You know, we've got agricultural communities and it's getting darker and darker and darker. But then the solstice comes out, darkest day, and the wheel of the year turns. And it's as though the sun is reborn. And with that, there's hope. There's hope, there's light coming back. All themes that so many faiths, and Christianity included, really have looked to and welcomed: light, rebirth, life turning around, hope. So it's quite an important time, I think.
Because
really
my word, do we not all need a bit of hope right now?
Absolutely, we most certainly do.
The actual moment of the solstice, am I right? It's about 9:48 p.m. this evening.
Well, it could be. I think it actually varies a little because sometimes it's on the 22nd, but I think really the 21st has been what's been sort of chosen as that day. But obviously with planetary alignment and the sun and all this, there are sort of slight changes and things. That's way beyond my pay grade to understand.
Yeah, you and me both. No, don't worry. So what is happening with you? Is it a service at the church, I'd imagine?
It is, yes. We've done this over several years. We've not done it the last 2 years because of COVID and the restrictions, but so we're sort of another service reborn, as it were. So we're going to meet at 5:00, and we've got a 700-year-old church at St Andrews in Somerset. And of course, Somerset's a place resplendent with holy legends and stories and very spiritual people. Of course, we've got Joseph of Arimathea as part of our county story. So the solstice service that we hold, it's a quiet service, and it's an opportunity to reflect on some of these ancient themes and symbols, the things like the rhythm of the year, the rebirth of life, the returning of light, and the acknowledgement of a power of a life-giving force that's a power greater than ourselves, which many of us would call God. So we have this service, we use the symbolisms of air, earth, fire and water, and we recognise that we have so much that unites us rather than divides us within an interfaith activity, really. We use inclusive language as we welcome the light into our lives. We use ancient holy texts from the Hebrew Bible and the scriptures. And even though we may use different words and perspectives to express our spirituality, we recognise that we share common understandings and we respect one another's viewpoints.
I think you just lowered my blood pressure. quite a lot,
Oh, dear.
Sharon. No, in a good way. In a really good way. I could listen to you all day.
One of the things with it, I find myself in mental health. We've got a mental health crisis, as we know. And certainly a lot of us suffer from seasonal affective disorder and these long nights, and they seem like they're never ending. And something that I found, surprisingly, once we started doing solstice services a few years back, was somehow having a service on that longest night, shortest day, was like a punctuation. And as well as helping me spiritually, I found, and others have found, that it helps your mental health because you realise that you've reached that point. You're turning around. You're turning towards spring. And somehow the darkness becomes something of that journey rather than something that's oppressing you.
If anybody wants any more of this, absolutely. Go and see Sharon tonight. She'll change your life, I swear. Sharon,
I can't take credit for that.
Thank you so much for being on the programme today. What time can people turn up then at St Andrews?
The service starts at 5 o'clock, so we'll have the church open before that.
All the best. And Merry Christmas to you, to yours, and I wish you all the best for the new year.
And to you. Bless you. Thank you very much.
Take care. Reverend Sharon Eldergill there from St Andrew's Church in Burnham-on-Sea, holding a service tonight to commemorate the winter solstice. Sharon says everything's going to be all right.
I'm glad about that.
Everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Bridge is back as well.
Yes.
How are the roads?
It's not looking too bad, actually. No particular